I trusted my GPS more than I trusted my own instincts. That was my first mistake. It was past midnight when I started the drive, a 4-hour haul through rural backroads to reach my friend's cabin near the lake. The kind of trip where the hum of the engine and the glow of the dashboard lull you into autopilot. My friend Ryan had texted earlier that day, "You'll love this place. Total off-grid peace." I didn't realize then how literal that would become. I remember the first hour clearly. Long stretches of 2-lane highway, flanked by endless pine trees and the occasional flicker of distant headlights. The world outside my windshield looked like static, repetitive, patternless. Even the radio struggled to find a signal, fading in and out between ghostly whispers of stations I didn't recognize. Then, somewhere past mile marker 87, the GPS chimed. "A faster route has been found. Save 32 minutes. I don't know why that robotic voice felt like a friend in that moment, maybe because it was the only one speaking to me. Without thinking, I hit accept. The blue line rerouted, snaking off the main highway and into a thinner, paler road on the map. County Road 19B, it said. The first few miles were fine. Quiet, empty, peaceful in a way. My headlights carved a narrow tunnel of visibility through the dark. I remember passing a billboard with no logo, just peeling paint and the faint outline of what used to be a smiling face. There was no message left, just the word welcome barely visible through the grime. I laughed under my breath, not because it was funny, but because silence feels heavier at night when you're alone. The laughter didn't sound right in the car. After another 10 minutes, something subtle began to feel off. The road markers were missing. I hadn't seen a single one since turning off. No speed limit, no curve ahead, not even a mile sign. Just blacktop and trees. When I glanced back at the GPS, I noticed something else. The name of the road had changed. It no longer said County Road 19B, it said Old Mill Route. I frowned. That road didn't exist when I checked the route earlier. I was sure of it. I zoomed out, but the map flickered with static. The digital lines breaking apart like they were struggling to render something that wasn't there. I tapped the screen. Nothing. Then, without warning, the voice spoke again. "Continue straight for 5 miles, except..." The voice sounded different, not completely still synthetic. Still the same pitch, but the cadence had changed. Slower, softer, like someone was speaking through the GPS, trying too hard to sound human. A chill rippled through me. The voice continued after a pause. "Approaching destination soon." But that wasn't right. I still had over an hour left before the cabin. I checked my phone, no service. Not even a single bar. I told myself it was a glitch. Maybe the offline maps were bugging out. That's what logic wanted me to believe. But then I started noticing the signs. Literally signs. The next one I passed was a bent metal pole with the words "Miller's Crossing 2 miles" etched into the reflective paint. I'd never heard of a place by that name. I tried looking it up once I got back. It doesn't exist. Another 10 minutes later, I saw a gas station sign glowing in the distance, one of those old ones with a flickering red E and open. Relief washed over me. Civilization. People. Maybe I could grab a drink, stretch my legs. Except as I got closer, I realized the sign wasn't attached to a gas station at all. It stood alone by the road, plugged into nothing, humming faintly in the dark. I didn't stop. The GPS chimed again. Turn left ahead. There was no intersection, no visible road, just a faint break in the trees where the asphalt dipped into a dirt path. I slowed, scanning the area. That's when I noticed the map on the screen. It had split. The usual purple route line divided into two. One was labeled Route A, the path I'd been on. The other, Route B, unverified. The voice said again, turn left ahead. The sound warped on the last word, the syllable stretching like tape being slowed down. Something inside me said don't. But curiosity, or maybe arrogance, won. The idea of shaving time off the drive was too tempting. And really, what was the harm in trusting a GPS? It wasn't like the thing could lie. So I turned. The dirt crunched under the tires and the headlights caught what looked like faint tire tracks ahead, as if others had come this way before. That gave me a strange comfort. But here's the part I can't explain. Just as I turned, the radio, which had been silent for most of the drive, crackled to life. A burst of static followed by what sounded like whispering. I couldn't make out the words, but it wasn't random noise. It was rhythmic, like someone repeating a phrase over and over. Then a click, and silence again. I don't know why I didn't turn back right then. Maybe I thought it was interference. Maybe I didn't want to admit I was scared. But as I drove deeper down that path, I noticed something glowing faintly on the GPS screen. A small red dot moving. Not stationary, like a destination marker, moving. And it wasn't in front of me. It was behind. I'll upload the screenshots at the end if they're still on my phone. I thought I'd found a forgotten town. I didn't realize it had found me first. The road widened just enough for the trees to fall back, and suddenly, there it was, a weather-worn wooden sign illuminated by my headlights. The paint was cracked and sun-bleached, but the words were still legible. Welcome to Daringwood, established 1873. The GPS chimed softly. You have arrived. Arrived where, though? I slowed the car to a crawl, my tires crunching over gravel that hadn't seen maintenance in decades. There were no streetlights, no cars, no distant porch lights glowing through windows. Just the outline of buildings, houses, maybe leaning slightly, like they'd grown tired of standing. I turned down what I guessed was the main street. The first thing I noticed was the stillness. Even in abandoned places, there's usually sound wind through trees, a dog barking, something. But here the air felt full, like it was pressing against the car. And beneath it a faint hum, so low I could feel it more than hear it. It wasn't mechanical, not like a generator or power line. It was deeper, like a resonance hiding under everything else. I passed what looked like an old gas station. The lights above the pumps flickered weakly, swinging with the rhythm of dying fluorescent tubes. The sign over the station said, Fuller's Fuel and Supply, but the price board below listed gas at 0.62 per gallon. I blinked at it. That couldn't be right. I pulled over, cut the engine, and listened. The hum didn't stop. When I stepped out of the car, the sound seemed to shift, like it was moving around me. The air was thick with the scent of dust and rain, the kind that lingers before a storm that never arrives. Across the street stood a faded community board. You know, the kind, old cork with yellowed paper, rusted thumbtacks, and notes curling at the corners. I walked over, brushing away cobwebs. At the top it said, Daringwood Directory. Underneath were rows of neatly printed names and addresses. Some were half scratched out, others faded completely, but one of them caught my eye immediately. Hale 44 Juniper Lane, my last name. I froze. I don't have family in this state. I don't even know anyone named Hale outside of my parents. My first thought was coincidence, but something about the way it was centered on the list, crisp and unweathered, didn't feel accidental. I pulled out my phone to snap a picture, but the screen stayed black. I pressed the buttons again, nothing. Dead. I got back in the car. The GPS map was still on, though the route line had vanished. The little red dot, the one that had been behind me, was gone too. I zoomed out, half expecting the map to correct itself. Instead, the display glitched. Roads twisted and overlapped in impossible angles, like the software was trying to build something that couldn't exist. Then, the voice returned. Please remain on Daringwood Avenue. The tone wasn't robotic this time. It was softer, almost human, but wrong in the way a person repeating a phrase too perfectly sounds wrong. I scanned the houses again. They were all dark, save for one halfway down the street. A single window glowed faintly with warm yellow light. For a moment it flickered like someone walking past a lamp. And then a figure appeared, barely visible through the curtain. They waved. It was slow, deliberate, a motion that lasted too long to feel natural. I couldn't make out their face, but something about the stillness of their body made my skin crawl. I hesitated, my hand hovering over the gear shift. I didn't know if I should wave back or drive away. Before I could decide, the GPS chimed again. Rerouting. Please remain on Daringwood Avenue. The screen flashed white for a split second, and I thought I saw something in that flash, a reflection that didn't belong. A figure standing closer than the car's interior should allow. Then it was gone. I looked back at the house, but the window was dark now. The hum in the air deepened, vibrating through the steering wheel, through my hands. The town felt smaller, like the buildings were leaning in closer. The GPS voice whispered one more time. Proceed to 44 Juniper Lane. They talked like people, but their eyes didn't blink in sync. The diner sat at the corner of what passed for Daringwood's main intersection, a silver-paneled relic straight out of another decade. Its neon sign buzzed faintly, Mabel's Eatery, the only sign of light for miles. The parking lot was empty except for my car, though a faint country tune hummed from inside. I hesitated at the door. My reflection in the glass looked pale, warped slightly by the curvature. When I pushed it open, a little bell jingled, too sharp, too clean, like a sound effect. Warm air and the scent of coffee hit me immediately, comforting at first. But underneath it was something else, like old metal and mildew, masked by sugar and grease. There were people inside, 3 men at the counter, a woman wiping down a booth, a child sitting by the window, legs swinging. humming some offbeat tune. I froze for a second, half expecting them to turn and stare, but only the woman looked up, her smile too wide, too sudden. "Evenin', stranger," she said. "Coffee?" Her voice had an old twang, pleasant enough, but there was a lag between her words and her lips, like an overdub that didn't sync. Yeah, sure," I said, sliding into the nearest booth. The leather squeaked under me, sticky, cracked but warm, as if someone had just been sitting there. She poured coffee into a cup that was already half full, spilling some on the table. "Long drive?" "Something like that," I muttered. "Wasn't planning to stop. My GPS took me here." "GPS?" she repeated, her face blank for a second before her smile returned. "Oh, you mean one of them computer maps, fancy? You visiting for the festival?" "The what?" Before she could answer, one of the men at the counter chuckled. "Everybody's here for the festival," he said without turning around. His reflection in the chrome napkin holder smiled even though his mouth didn't. I forced a laugh. "Right, the festival," the woman nodded, satisfied. "You should stay. We haven't had a full crowd since—" She paused mid-sentence, eyes unfocused, then blinked hard and started wiping the table again. "Since last year." The jukebox in the corner clicked, and another old country song began to play wide open spaces. The sound warped slightly, like it was being pulled from underwater. I glanced at the child near the window. She was watching me, still humming. Her lips moved out of sync with the tune, just barely. "You're new," she said softly. I nodded. "Just passing through. Are you staying for the festival this time?" she asked. I froze. "This time?" She smiled, small and strange. "You said that last time too." Before I could respond, the waitress slid a small, cracked leather book onto my table. "Before you leave," she said, "make sure to sign the guest book." The cover was embossed with faint gold letters, "Daringwood Visitors Registry." I opened it, pages filled with looping cursive names, dates, hometowns. The most recent entry was from 1999. Beneath that, more names, faded ink, and some written in handwriting eerily similar to my own. I turned a few pages. My heart began to pound. One of the names, Daniel Cross, jumped out. I knew that name. I'd read it a few months ago in a news article. A missing hiker from Montana vanished without a trace. Another, April K., same as a journalist who disappeared after investigating a string of ghost towns, all listed as guests. The GPS in my car should have been silent. The phone was dead, but through the window I could see the faint glow of the screen. It was on, and it was whispering. I couldn't hear words, not clearly, but the rhythm of speech was unmistakable, like it was murmuring directions to no one. The waitress tapped the page. "Don't forget to sign, hun. House rules." My throat was dry. "How long have you all lived here?" The men at the counter turned, perfectly in sync. "Always have," they said. Their faces didn't match their voices. I stood quickly. "I think I'll head out." The waitress frowned, eyes narrowing just slightly. "You sure, sugar? Roads get confusing after dark." I moved toward the door, ignoring the child's gaze. She was still humming, still smiling, and as I passed, she whispered, You'll come back. You always do. The bell above the door jangled again, sharper this time. The hum outside had deepened, vibrating in my chest like a low heartbeat. I was halfway to the car when something cold grabbed my wrist. It was one of the men from the counter. His skin was dry and cold, the grip too strong for someone that old. His eyes didn't blink. "You're early this time," he said softly. My pulse jumped. "What?" He let go, smiling faintly. "Don't worry. We'll catch up soon." I got into the car and slammed the door. The GPS voice crackled alive again, louder than before. "Proceed to 44 Juniper Lane." Every turn I took brought me back to the beginning. Except the beginning wasn't the same anymore. I sped down the road that led out of Daringwood, the hum of the tires sounding sharper than before, like the asphalt itself was thinner, ready to tear open. I didn't care which direction I was heading. I just needed to get out. The town had shrunk in my rearview mirror, its faint, crooked outlines disappearing into the dark. 5 minutes. 10. 15. The forest swallowed the road again, dense and black. I passed the same crooked pine I'd noticed earlier, its trunk split at a perfect 45-degree angle. My headlights painted it in pale light, and I remember thinking, that's impossible. It had been on the opposite side of the road before. Another few miles, and the GPS finally chimed. "Continue on Daringwood Avenue." "No," I muttered. "We're off that road. We're out." But the line on the map said otherwise. It curved ahead in a smooth loop that led back the way I came. The voice repeated, more distorted this time. "Continue on Daringwood Avenue." Static fuzzed at the edges of the sentence, like it was speaking from underwater. I clenched the steering wheel, heart pounding, and pushed harder on the gas. The road stretched endlessly and the trees pressed closer, their silhouettes twisting into shapes that seemed too deliberate. Then a sign appeared in my headlights. "Welcome to Daringwood Est, 1873, the same sign. The same splintered post, the same fading white paint. No. I slammed the brakes. The car skidded, gravel scattering, and I sat there shaking, the engine idling like it didn't care. I tried a different route, turned left this time instead of right. The GPS recalculated, rerouting. Rerouting? Repeating the word over and over until it blurred into nonsense. 5 minutes later, the town sign appeared again. I tried again. Straight this time, then right, then reverse. I even shut off the GPS, thinking maybe it was just a malfunction. But every turn, every decision brought me back to that same damn sign. Only it wasn't exactly the same. The second time, the sign said, "Welcome to Daringwood Est, 1883. The third time, the wood was fresh, unrotted, the letters carved deeper. The hum in the air seemed to pulse with each loop, syncing with my heartbeat. On the fourth loop, the diner was gone. In its place stood a boarded-up building with "Property of the County" stenciled across it. Mailboxes bore different names, Fuller replaced by Foley, Hale replaced by Hall. Reality wasn't resetting. It was rewriting itself. When I glanced at the GPS again, I almost dropped my phone. The screen was filled with coordinates. Not an address, not even a town name. Just numbers. I copied them in my head, thinking maybe I could check them later, but when I looked them up after escaping, they didn't exist. Not on any map. Not anywhere. A crackle of static filled the silence, and then the radio turned on by itself. At first, it was just noise until I heard a voice beneath it. My voice. If anyone's hearing this, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in it. The message cut out, replaced by static again. I switched it off immediately, my hands trembling. The silence that followed was worse. The air outside the car looked too still, like the whole world was holding its breath. The GPS dinged again. Proceed to Route 13. I froze. There was no Route 13 on the map. There never had been. I checked the entire area earlier that night, nothing by that name anywhere near Daringwood. The voice continued. Proceed to Route 13. Proceed to Route 13. Each repetition grew quieter, more garbled, until the words bled into static. Then with a soft click, the screen went black. For the first time, even the hum stopped. I sat there, listening to the silence press in, and then light. A faint red glow appeared on the windshield, slow at first, then growing brighter. The glow formed into thin lines, curling and looping until they shaped into words. A route, handwritten, shaky letters, glowing with that same crimson hue I'd seen in the GPS earlier. The line pointed forward deeper into Daringwood, and under it, scrawled in the same faint red, try again. The sign started talking about me, not to me about me. At first, I thought the glow on the windshield had finally driven me mad, that maybe exhaustion was catching up, that my brain was just trying to make sense of patterns in the dark. But when I turned onto the glowing route, my headlights caught something that didn't belong on any map, a road that hadn't existed a minute ago. The pavement ended abruptly. Gravel crunched under my tires, then faded to dirt. The forest pressed close on both sides, black trunks stretching up like ribs. My GPS was still dead, no voice, no screen, but that faint red line still glowed on the glass, pulling me forward. A mile in, the air began to thicken. It wasn't fog exactly, but it distorted the beams of my headlights, bending them in ways that made the road look fluid. The steering wheel vibrated beneath my hands, and I realized the sound under the tires had changed. It wasn't gravel anymore. It wasn't even dirt, it was softer, almost damp. When I pressed the brake and stepped out, the air smelled faintly metallic, like blood and ozone. My boots sank slightly and I crouched down, shining my phone's flashlight. The road pulsed, it flexed. The texture looked like pale skin, threaded with faint red veins that glowed just beneath the surface. I backed away fast, heart hammering. I didn't want to touch it again, but it was already stretching into the dark, continuing the path ahead, and somehow I couldn't turn back. Born August 19th, 1993, I froze. My birth date, exactly. Another few yards and there was another one. Fear being forgotten. The next, secret, you still blame yourself. I stopped the car again, breath ragged. The forest had gone silent except for a low hum, the same frequency that had haunted the town, but now softer, more deliberate, almost like breathing. I got back in the car and drove faster. The signs kept coming closer together, the details sharper. Age 11, he went missing. You took his bike that day. You told Mom he turned left. My throat went dry. My hands felt numb. It couldn't know that. That memory, I'd buried it. My brother Tyler, he disappeared after taking my GPS, same brand, same metallic voice. The police had searched for weeks, but the trail ended at an unmarked road that no one could find again. The thought hit me so hard I nearly veered off the road. My GPS had used the same model number. I remembered noticing it when I bought it used online. The air shifted again. The temperature dropped. My breath fogged the windshield, but the glow beneath it burned brighter, pulsing in rhythm with my heartbeat. Then the GPS turned on by itself. No screen, just the voice. Proceed to Route 13. The sound wasn't distorted anymore. It was clear, familiar. Ty, I whispered. Proceed to Route 13, the same inflection, the same tone he used to use when mocking the robotic GPS voice as kids. My eyes burned. I didn't know if it was fear or guilt or both. Where are you? I shouted. What is this place? The voice paused, then softer, almost human. You're getting closer. My heart dropped. The forest outside flickered, literally flickered like a bad screen. The sky above shimmered in patches of static, and the stars blinked out one by one. The trees seemed to bend inward, arching over the road as if to watch. More signs flashed past, each one faster, their words shifting mid-glance. Turn back. Keep going. He's waiting. You should have been him. The hum rose into a low, trembling note that rattled the glass. I tried to slow down, but the brake pedal was stiff, resisting me. The steering wheel jerked in small, deliberate movements like something else was guiding it. The road narrowed, and suddenly everything fell silent again. No hum. No engine. The car rolled to a stop on its own. The dashboard lights dimmed one by one. Then the GPS voice returned, calm, final. You've arrived. I looked ahead. The red glow had faded, replaced by a faint silver shimmer across the ground. A pool. Perfectly circular, it wasn't water. It looked like glass, perfectly smooth, reflecting the world above it, but the reflection wasn't right. In the mirror surface version of the world, Daringwood was alive. Streetlights burned in neat lines. The diner lights flickered warm yellow. People walked along the sidewalks, moving like shadows through a perfect town that shouldn't exist. And they were all looking toward me. My reflection stood still, but in the mirrored town, the version of me smiled. I stumbled backward. My car engine sputtered, out of gas. The fuel gauge read empty. My phone dead. The pool's reflection shimmered brighter, as if inviting me. Behind me, the GPS crackled one last time, and in my brother's voice, it whispered, "Don't be late this time." It didn't want to help me find my way. It wanted me to stay. When I stepped toward the pool, the air bent around me like walking through liquid glass. There was no splash, no sensation of falling. 1 second I was on the edge of that glowing circle, The next, my feet were on solid ground again, except the world had changed. The darkness was gone. The air smelled like morning rain and wood smoke. Birds chirped in trees that hadn't existed a second ago. Sunlight filtered through soft clouds. Daringwood was alive. Houses gleamed with fresh paint. Storefronts glowed with open signs. The gas station sign now flashed prices from today, not decades ago. Music drifted faintly from somewhere, a soft tune. The kind of cheerful melody you'd hear at a fairground. And then from across the street, someone waved. "Hey, stranger." It was the waitress from the diner. Her uniform was spotless now, her hair tied neatly in a bow. "We were wondering when you'd get here," she said brightly. Before I could respond, others emerged, the same faces I'd seen before, but different somehow, cleaner, healthier, their smiles too wide, their eyes too clear. I took a step back. Where am I?" A man with a neatly trimmed beard patted my shoulder. His skin felt cold, almost static charged. "Daringwood, of course. You made it through. Not everyone does." The music swelled a little louder, and suddenly the streets were filled with people laughing, waving, going about a life that seemed too perfect. The colors felt oversaturated, like someone had cranked the world's brightness. Then I heard a voice behind me. "About time." I turned. Tyler stood there, grinning. He looked exactly as he did the day he disappeared. Same hoodie, same messy hair, same scar above his eyebrow. My stomach dropped. "Ty, you made it this time," he said. I could barely breathe. I reached out, but something in me hesitated. His movements were just a little too smooth, like a video playing at a slightly wrong frame rate. "What is this?" I whispered. He smiled wider. "Home. We've been waiting for enough of us to come back." I frowned. "Enough of who?" He didn't answer. Around us, people stopped what they were doing. The cheerful chatter faded. Every single one of them turned toward me in perfect unison, their smiles still plastered on their faces. Tyler's eyes flickered, literally flickered, static crawling briefly across his irises. Then, from nowhere, the GPS voice returned. Calm, final. Destination achieved. The air vibrated. My phone buzzed in my pocket even though it was dead. I pulled it out and the screen glowed faintly red. Lines of code scrolled across it, too fast to read. Between the static flashes, I could make out fragments. Upload complete. Active user 5417. Welcome to Daringwood. My hands went cold. This isn't real, I said. This can't be real. Tyler tilted his head. What's real, though? You trusted it, didn't you? The voice, the shortcuts, the updates. We all did. Behind him, the townsfolk began to hum softly, the same low frequency that had haunted the roads earlier. The sound grew louder, vibrating through the pavement. Tyler stepped closer. It needed us to find it. Every wrong turn, every missing signal, it wasn't a glitch. It was calling home. Calling home? I repeated. His grin didn't fade. We're home now. I took a step back, shaking my head. No, you're not him. You're not my brother. The GPS voice overlapped his, speaking in perfect synchronization. Destination achieved. The entire world flickered. For a split second, the bright, perfect town vanished, replaced by the dark, abandoned Daringwood I'd first seen. The buildings decayed. The air went cold. The sky tore like static. Then everything snapped back to color again, seamless as if nothing had happened. I stumbled toward the diner, grabbing the door handle, but it didn't move. It wasn't even real. My fingers passed through it, the surface rippling like pixels. The hum rose again, louder now. Tyler's voice warped, breaking apart like a corrupted audio file. Stay, stay, stay. My phone vibrated violently. The GPS map reappeared, the red route glowing once more. But instead of a destination, it displayed a message. Choose. The screen split two options. Stay or exit. Don't, Tyler said, his voice now layered with digital echoes. If you leave, you'll forget. You'll lose everything. Tears burned behind my eyes. Maybe that's the point. I raised the phone over my head and smashed it to the ground. The glass shattered, sparks flying. The hum broke off in a shriek. The light around me began to distort, like someone was tearing through a digital film. Buildings dissolved into static. The ground cracked open, fragments of light falling upward. People screamed not in fear but in feedback. Their voices distorted into electric noise as the perfect world collapsed around me. Tyler reached for me, his face flickering between versions: child, teenager, adult, static, gone. The last thing I heard was the GPS whispering. One final time, soft and almost pleading, recalculating. Then darkness. When I opened my eyes, I was standing on asphalt again. The sky was black. The forest was still, and in front of me stood the same old splintered sign. Welcome to Daringwood, Estembry, 1873 alone. Maybe I left Daringwood, but Daringwood never left me. When I opened my eyes again, dawn was breaking or something like it. Pale light seeped through the clouds and the forest looked softer, more natural. Birds were chirping again, and for a second I almost laughed. I was out. I had to be. The GPS was gone, smashed where I'd dropped it, but my car still started on the first try. The relief that hit me was almost dizzying. I pulled onto the road, glancing in the mirror every few seconds, expecting the sign, the hum, something to drag me back. But mile after mile, there was only silence. Eventually, the trees thinned. Civilization appeared again, or a version of it. Gas stations, motels, highway signs. I recognized none of them, but they looked right enough. The world had texture again. Sunlight. Motion. But small things began to bother me. License plates. Every car I passed had plates with different fonts, some too wide, others too tall. A billboard showed a smiling woman advertising Clover Cola, America's favorite since 1931. I'd never heard of that brand in my life. Another sign read, "Make the switch to Transcon Energy Power for tomorrow's yesterdays." Tomorrow's yesterdays. It was such a strange slogan, but it rolled off my mind like static, too slippery to focus on. I told myself I was just tired, traumatically tired. But when the fuel gauge hit empty, I pulled into the first gas station. I saw a squat building with a flickering neon sign that read, "Hessman's Stop." Inside, the air smelled like dust and warm plastic. The man behind the counter looked up from a crossword and smiled. "Well, I'll be," he said, as if recognizing me. "I haven't seen you since the last reset." I froze. "What did you just say?" He looked confused. "The last reset," he repeated casually, like it was nothing. "You all come through here eventually." "You all?" "Travelers," he shrugged. "Always the same story. Wrong turn, broken map, weird sky. But you made it back, huh?" My throat went dry. I grabbed my phone from my pocket out of habit and almost dropped it. It wasn't broken anymore. The screen flickered once, then stabilized. A new app had appeared on the home screen, clean white icon, red lettering beneath it. Daring Wood Companion 2.0. The battery indicator showed 100%. I didn't remember charging it. I didn't even remember it existing anymore. Against every rational thought, I tapped the icon. The screen went black for a moment, then a soft tone played. "Welcome back, intro name. Estimated sync complete." Below it, a countdown timer appeared. Next arrival, 47:59. 12 eyes stared at it until the numbers shifted. 47 hours, 59 minutes, 11 seconds. Then 10, then 9. "What is this?" I whispered. The clerk glanced up, still chewing on his pen cap. "Oh, don't bother uninstalling it. It always comes back." I felt my stomach twist. "What happens when it hits 0? He shrugged. "Never seen it hit 0. Nobody sticks around that long." The air suddenly felt too heavy. I stumbled outside, clutching the phone. The world looked fine, ordinary even, but something was humming again, though buried deep under the sound of engines and wind. I got back in my car, hands trembling, and checked the GPS app. It opened without me touching it. The map was blank except for a single glowing red dot in the center. Daringwood, it read. Below it, in smaller text, population. 1. I slammed the phone face down on the seat. My breath came in short bursts. It was impossible. There was no way it could still track me. I'd left. I'd escaped. But the more I drove, the stranger the world looked. Street names flickered when I passed them. People in other cars seemed to stare too long. Every few minutes, the faintest static crept back into the radio, whispering under the music. At a red light, I looked at my reflection in the rearview mirror. For a split second, it didn't move when I did. I nearly screamed. I pulled over, heart hammering, and opened the phone again. The Daringwood app was still running, timer ticking steadily down. My thumb hovered over Delete App, but another notification slid across the top of the screen. Route 13 available. Estimated time saved, 30 minutes. I couldn't breathe. So I did the only thing left to do. I'm recording this, telling you, because maybe someone needs to know. If your GPS ever shows Route 13, don't follow it. No matter how tired you are, no matter how lost you feel. Don't trust the shortcut, don't trust the voice, because once it finds you, it doesn't stop. I can still hear it even now. The hum, the recalculating, the whisper right behind my ear. Wait, I just checked my phone. It says you're less than a mile away.